Yeah, it's a little better as far as lighting goes. So, the topic of discussion. I like to add themes or topics to talk about as I do my drawings, my drawing exercises, and the topic that I'd like to talk about today. I'm trying to see here. Is the topic that I'd like to talk about today is this idea of becoming an artist after 30. And it's interesting to me because I feel like, let's start off with this. I feel like if I had tried to become an artist at in like 1990 or and like it, if I was 30 years old and it was maybe 1990 or like 1980 or even like early 2000, I don't know if I would have had because of technology. I don't know if I would have had the same belief in myself to pursue art. I just don't. I feel that at 30, some of the challenges of becoming an artist isn't just whether you're creative or not, but obviously you have to like sustain yourself and all those things. But it's also this idea of you know fitting finding networking, right? There's this whole concept of networking. And, you think a lot of people do it in college, right? People who start as artists in their teens and go to college as artists and all the things like that. And they build these networks. They build some great social networks. And with that, if you're starting out as an artist in your 30s, then it can be really hard to just build that out of nowhere. Um, because it's just the way it is. Like, I'm not saying it is absolutely hard for everybody, because some people are simply just better networkers. And fortunately, I've had many moves in my life where literally moving to different cities. So unfortunately, I've had the experience of having to start anew in a city. So that itself is not, I've never felt that in itself was the challenge, as much as it is knowing that there's an opportunity that I can actually take advantage of. An opportunity that I can pursue creative outlets and still be able to, build a brand, build a business, build all those things. And I feel like it is today more than almost probably any other time in history that we all have this amazing opportunity to do so, simply because of social media, of YouTube, of all these places, print on demand, like all these different ways that artists can start to make an income. You can find painting groups on social media. You can do print on demand on so many websites. Just upload your painting or your artwork and just start to build attraction. You can build email lists for your fans. You can do live streams on YouTube, Facebook. TikTok has only been around for like the past less than 10 years. Alexa, when was TikTok created?
In September 2016, the Chinese internet company ByteDance launched the TikTok app under the name Douyin. Initially available only in China, the app was renamed to TikTok and launched on iOS and Android for global markets in 2017.
So TikTok has been around for less than 7 years for the Americas. And I think all of these tools are just amazing tools that allow people to have the opportunity to pursue their passions, if it is their passion, right? Pursue their desires to become an artist. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I think without these tools, um, I probably would not have I don't want to say confidence, but wouldn't have the wouldn't be able to have the vision, I would say, right? If you don't have a vision of how you're going to do something, it's very hard to pursue it. And with social media and everything, I know there's this whole concept of artists in galleries and artists in um, artists, the traditional art world, right? Galleries and selling your artwork to people who commission you through some society of artists or whatever, um, or things like that, right? All this traditional stuff that can ultimately deter somebody from entering the arts. What's up, Amir? How you doing? But there's all these things that could instantly just deter somebody from pursuing arts because it seems unreachable, right? Like there's these things that are just that seem like, oh well, I need to know people, I need to connect with all these galleries and everything. But although that world still exists, I find that as an artist myself, that there's a bit of entrepreneurialism that's available to many artists today that were not available before. And here's the interesting thing. So if you look at the history of a lot of artists, right? Like, hey, I really appreciate you jumping in, Amir. We're just going over some thoughts around becoming an artist after 30. If you look at a lot of careers, this is also pretty intimidating. Is there are a lot of artists who became successful after a career in the arts, and this is just going to sound silly, but so Andy Warhol's the biggest example, right? Like you listen to his story and you think that he just became famous out of nowhere. It's like overnight success, but you hear his story of the fact that he was a designer. He was a long-term designer and artist for many, many years before he went out on his own. And there's a lot of stories like that of artists who being successful. And I think if you're deciding that you want to become an artist after 30, you have to overcome this hurdle, especially if you didn't come from like a design background, right? Like there's some designers who decide to go out on their own. But if you decide to become an artist after 30, you really have to you really have to have a vision of how you're going to achieve it. And that can be a challenge when you hear stories like, oh, well, Andy Warhol, just example, right? Easy example right there. You could probably find many others, but Andy Warhol, he was an artist. He became an artist, like a fine artist later in life. But the true story is he already had design thinking, right? He was already a successful designer beforehand. So I feel like as an artist after 30, you can be demotivated by those stories actually. Not because not like he didn't become successful till later in life, but those stories can be demotivating if you start later, not because it's like, oh well, he already had the talent, but because you feel as if, oh well, he had already started to build the networks and all these things, and then he just transitioned all of his ideas into something else. But I do find it interesting. I think Frida Kahlo is probably one of the best examples of artists who started a bit later, and basically she just leaned into this idea of her own personality to become an artist. Yeah, hey, many artists become famous after they die. But here's the thing about that is I think what happens is they usually it's it's partially true is they become famous after they die. I think they become world famous after they pass away, only because it gives them more time for their ideas to brew. Because for example, right, Van Gogh didn't start to become it's a myth that Van Gogh was like totally unrecognized, living in total like nobody knew him. But if you look at his story, he was friends with Paul Gauguin. He was friends with or he knew Claude Monet. They knew each other. His brother was working at the gallery that sold a lot of Claude Monet paintings. He was friends with Toulouse-Lautrec, and all these really successful people at the time. So he had already started to build a reputation. And here's my theory theory, and obviously no, I can't prove it, but just before he died, he was actually supposed to get a really big exhibit where like politicians were gonna go and famous people. So he'd already started to build a reputation by the time he had died. Sadly, he didn't get to see it, but it wasn't for like a couple years after, just a few years after he died that, all of it had started to really blossom. And here's the thing, is it blossoming because of the work he did, or is it because he died? Like, here's a question. If he had not died, I mean, obviously, the Van Gogh death, the suicide, and all that stuff adds to the mythos, adds to the legend and the myth of Van Gogh. But at least today, but I think at the time, if he had lived for a couple more years, his skills, his network, his reputation probably would have blossomed, maybe even to the same level at the time, possibly more, possibly less. Like, can we really truly say that death was what, and his madness had contributed to his art? We might not ever know. But he was already starting to reach a point near his death that he was getting recognized. So maybe it just took 10 years for him to reach that point. He just needed another few years to overcome that. Or maybe his death did, I mean, his death probably did contribute a lot, but that's another thing. But also another artist example, obvious example, Jean-Michel Basquiat. Like, he had already done very well in art galleries. He had already made a name in the New York art scene. Now, sadly, he passed away from a drug overdose. Um, and, sadly, it wasn't until after that he had truly started to gain, worldwide recognition. But he had already started to gain recognition before he passed, which is, ultimately what I'm trying to get at here. And you got to ask, is it because he died that he, ultimately grew and grew and grew? Or is it because he was already starting to become successful and the story just helped to propel it? Um, so yeah, I really think that there's few artists who die without like any recognition at all, right? The few known artists today that die without ever being like, oh wow, being recognized at some point. um, so yeah, I mean, that's just some thoughts around art and that world, because I feel like some of that can be, some of those stories can create this like this myth that an artist has to like struggle or has to like, you know, die before they can get good. And yes, letting time pass after someone dies, it can definitely create a new sense of meaning in their art. New generations will look at it, new buyers, it changes hands and things like that, and that ultimately helps it grow. Um, but I don't necessarily believe that most artists only become success like famous after they die. So that's why. But um, yeah, well, so that is a question actually. You do have a good point there. Uh, Out of all the famous ones, there's probably a lot of great artists who do die and never get recognized at all. That's a whole different subject there. So that I could totally see where you're coming from. Yeah, so many good artists probably die, and they maybe they just never did their marketing or whatever. Um, but who knows? Yeah, you are bringing up a good point. Maybe that kind of went off on a tangent there, but there's definitely some myths, and then there's definitely some important things to consider, of course. So anyway, um, artist after 30. I think if this was like 1990 or 2000, I would definitely feel very differently about pursuing art and things like that, because it would be really hard to create a vision of how to do it. It would be very hard to know, like, to feel confident that, oh yeah, all I need to do is is do certain actions, right? There, it would feel like hard to be entrepreneurial. So I think right now is a great time to be an artist, especially if you're over 30. If you feel that you can be entrepreneurial, we didn't have, you didn't have before print on demand, before social media, before um, the opportunity to build your own website for so cheap, for being able to move to a major art city anywhere in the world. I mean, there's huge art communities all over, which I don't think was the case back in 1980, 1990. Um, you had to be like in New York City, or you had to be in some other part of the world, Paris, something like that, and you couldn't really just pick up and become an artist in any part of the world. You had to really be in the right area. So that's my thought on that. But as far as entrepreneurialism is concerned, right? Like this opportunity, YouTube, before I became an artist, uh, this idea of YouTube, an opportunity to be able to stream and just do art and be able to earn a income through YouTube is very powerful. That's very motivating as well. So being able to create an audience on YouTube and things like that, building communities, like all these different things that artists can do today that were not necessarily available back then, a long time ago, I think is a great motivating factor if you're able to not just come up with new ways of doing things, but coming up with ways of marketing yourself, getting yourself out there. And there's just so many ways. So, and here's the thing I think that's interesting. Just think about what it took to do a print on demand project. If you wanted to print on demand, like prior to today, I'd have to come up with a design, come up with a proof of it. I'd have to send it in to some company, and then I'd have to maybe have someone like come up with a initial design of it and have them printed on a t-shirt, and then I'd have to test out if I liked it. But today you can go on a website like Redbubble or Society6, or you can go on Amazon Print on Demand if you get approved, and you can simply just upload your image that you take from a mobile device and just get it printed. I mean, that's pretty sweet to me. It's a sweet deal. And I think that's pretty cool because it allows the artist to be more entrepreneurial, to really take their career and their opportunities in their own hands. And yeah, of course, you can apply for galleries online, but it's just a really powerful thing. So many great and amazing, powerful tools and websites that provide a modern artist with this opportunity. And it's a great thing. So internet might be second renaissance, don't I think? Yeah, hey, Amir, totally. I definitely think that it is here that the internet is a new renaissance. Well, yeah, for sure. Like you got to think about all the entrepreneurs that are coming out of the internet, and all the artists who you're meeting because of the internet, right? Like this is a transfer of new ideas, a creating of a new thing. But I will say that the second renaissance it's not the same way as the original back then, in the sense that a lot of it was in person. I think that the internet is having its own say, or creating its own set of communities and people that's separate from like real life. We've all heard people are like internet famous or whatever. So that's what I mean, is it's this this idea that it is a little bit separate. But yes, it definitely does create a renaissance um, because there's a new group of people who are really making new cultural changes and ideas and transferring all that. But anyway, let me know what you think about that. I know I'm pretty much done with my rant for this afternoon. As I get into this drawing, I find that I can't properly develop my ideas as I'm sketching along when I'm trying to find these like lines and movements and things. So yeah, let me know what you think, Amir. What did you mean by the second renaissance of the internet? Or does what I said even like relate to what you're saying, what you're trying to say? By the way, I'm still using this same pen, same ink refill, and honestly, I don't think it's ever going to end, and maybe that's okay. You know what I'm seeing that I failed to do in this drawing so far is to create more areas of differentiation for light. But so yeah, artists after 30, so many great opportunities for artists after 30 if you are able to really take advantage of everything that is being offered. Now, I do think that, as much talk as I am discussing about the internet, there is still nothing more powerful than in-person connections. Um, you know, Simply said, like most of my commissions have come from off the internet, people that I've met off the internet. And I think social media is just a great way for you to stay connected with those people and, keep them updated on what you're working on, but not necessarily. And it's a great place to help build new streams of income and things like that. But it's not necessarily the end all be all of of artistic entrepreneurship. So right now I'm creating some outline around this, and I'll give a little update on what I'm drawing here in a moment. Doing some apples, but just going with a very sketchy look on these apples. And got to draw the bowl here in a moment. So we're gonna start with the bowl here. And this bowl is a pretty complex bowl because there's um, there's like a width to it, an extra width that I have to focus on. All right, so it's easy to make art community now because of the internet. Happened after 1453 fall of Constantinople, but now you can do that on Discord. Yeah, exactly. So, there's so much you can do And I don't know exactly what you mean by what happened after 1450. Oh, you're talking about the Renaissance, the original Renaissance. Yeah. So I see what you're saying. I get it now. Hmm. Do I chicken sketch? What is a chicken sketch? I just sketch chickens or chicken scratch, you mean? I don't know what you mean by that. I'm not well versed in uh, all varieties of sketching methods. Do I chicken sketch? Maybe. Maybe I chicken sketch. It's possible. Oh no, I smudge sketch. I smudged a huge part of this drawing. That's all right. Kat, do you want to do a poll whether you should shower or not?
No, I'm gonna shower.
Do you need a poll?
No.
Hmm. All right. Jokes aside, it's a form of sketching. Alexa, what is a chicken sketch?
A chicken sketch is a humorous cartoon or illustration of chickens, often featuring silly or exaggerated expressions and actions. It is a popular meme or internet joke that is often shared on social media platforms. The sketches typically feature one or more chickens engaged in absurd or unusual activities, such as playing musical instruments, riding bicycles, or engaging in other unlikely activities. The humor often comes from the unexpected or ridiculous situations in which the chickens find themselves.
Well, that's hilarious.
Yes.
I do not do chicken sketch. So basically, what Alexa said is, oh, oh yeah, I do that type of. She said chickens. Are you sure she called it chicken sketch or chicken scratch? Chicken scratch is a bit of an insult, but chicken sketch is an actual type of thing. Alexa just defined it for us. She said that chicken sketch is a way of drawing that includes chickens, and basically you put them in a variety of situations. But chicken scratch, I've heard of. Like if your drawing looks like chicken scratch, it looks like a chicken scratched it. That's what that means.
Yeah, like flop, flop, flop.
But I guess sometimes I do chicken scratch.
When you're when you're in the bed and you start sketching in the dark.
I don't consider that chicken scratch. I actually consider that art.
It's chicken scratch.
No.
It's just lines and markings on paper.
But it has a purpose, it has a significance.
You.
Well, not to you, but to other people. Huh? Yeah, you're chicken scratch. Your work is chicken scratch.
Excuse me?
Yeah, that's what I thought. See, non-artists just don't understand the mind of artists.
I'm an artist.
No. If you don't get it, you don't get it.
So that restaurant really screwed up.
Okay, so here we go. Working on this area right here. There's a lot of like. So let me share with all of you what I'm working on right now. So this is the challenge I have right now, and I don't want to move my reference too much. So let me find a way I can keep it in check. Okay. So this is what we're working with right now. And as you can see in this glass, there's these ridges. And unfortunately, these ridges are all like little cubes. So I basically have to draw a ton of little cubes in order to make this work. So this is this is what I'm using as my source right now. Just 3 green apples, something simple, something I guess it's not that simple, but I'm just sketching out those every single individual ridge, which is kind of annoying. Yeah, why is this pen still going? I don't know. Hopefully it's done soon. But you know what? Initially, this was seemed more intimidating. Drawing these little ridges felt more intimidating initially, but I think I'm getting the hang of it now, and it's becoming not as intimidating, which is great. So can we get a closer view? Yeah, here, look. Just working through the top of these ridges right now. And eventually I'll fill out the shape of the bowl. And let's see how this goes. So here we go. I'm taking it easy on these, and keep it simple here. So here we go. I'm gonna go. And there we go. So here's my chicken scratch. Here. So just finished up the ridges around the outside of the bowl here. These are the apples. Very scratchy, as you can see. Little strokes. And here we go. So let's do the shape of the bowl now. You do the shape of the bowl. So that's going to come out from one of these edges here. We're going to take this bowl and just bring it down. Let's get this side. And here we go. So what can we do? We can paint down this apple. There's so many intricate designs on here. I cannot stand at drawing glass. I don't know why I decided to draw glass. I do not know why I decided to draw glass. All right, so here we go. We got to draw some of the designs here. Strategy or diploma? What do you mean? What do you mean by, what's up, Kinks, Kinex? What do you mean by strategy or diploma? Were you referring to what I was saying about being artist over 30, or let us know? That sounds very those two words are very powerful. It sounds like a quote that you can use, like a 3-word quote. If someone was to ask you a question on a podcast interview, like, what do you find important? Use strategy or diploma. Whew. All right, so continuing on with this sketch here, let's see, right here, this is going to come down, and we're going to come up with this, up and around. And we're going to keep going like here. Strategy for you. I definitely think that those two things are quite different. Strategy versus diploma. Because diploma could be part of a strategy. But it sounds good. Like, you know, if you became an expert on some topic, and I interviewed you for the podcast, and I was like, well, what's important? Or, you know, what are some whatever, like, what do you think on this subject? And you said strategy or diploma, I wouldn't argue with you. I'd be like, oh wow, that sounds genius. Like, sounds brilliant. Let's go with it. Yeah, that's powerful. Strategy or diploma. But for the sake of this video, I definitely would be wondering, like, what are you talking about? So He just said then go. Not very specific. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Northern? How you doing? Did you get to do anything interesting yesterday? How was your afternoon after I had left? All right. Well, it's Friday. Can't always do stuff every single Friday night, right? But today is Saturday. And the day after Saturday is Sunday, which means you've got all weekend to live as your heart's desires. Planning on starting a new Blender project. Awesome. So what would you have in mind, if you don't mind sharing? What sort of ideas do you have blossoming in that mind of yours? It was interesting. I was talking to somebody at work the other day during my day job, and I was talking to them, and they said, I was like, oh, so how was your evening the last 24 hours? And they're like, oh, nothing eventful. But here's the interesting thing is, remember people say that like, nothing. I mean, of course, we're always talking about physical events, but I feel like there's a lot of people who, I feel like we just haven't had enough time to share thoughts, right? Like we're not, people aren't really skilled at sharing their thoughts, things that they believe in, the things that they think on a nightly basis. And I think, of course, there's some reasons for that because we don't need the world thinking our every thought. But at the same time, when I asked her if anything interesting has happened in the past night, I was also curious. Like at one point, like, well, did you think of anything? Like you didn't even have a thought, and I didn't ask that actually, but it did cross my mind to be like, oh, well, did you think of anything interesting? And I think it just rings true about this idea that people aren't really taught to share what they think. But anyway, I'm planning starting a new project tomorrow. Like anytime you ask somebody, oh, how they were doing during the evening or whatever, it's usually pretty standard. It's either they did something that they can talk about, like a specific event, or they did not. So right now I'm just drawing out some of the designs here before I move into some of the more intricate stuff. See, I haven't been doing 3D modeling in a while. It's been around a month. Oh wow! Hey, congrats. Well, hey, you just keep on going, and you will figure out your figure out your own system. 3D modeling is definitely not something that you can start to see results overnight. I mean, there are some really like I took this Blender course on Udemy, and they have some really good courses that like teach you step by step how to do everything, and you can feel really good about like some of the projects you do. But then suddenly, as you get to bigger and bigger projects, it's like instantly, oh wow, I need to check myself. There's so much more to learn. And then as you're working, you're like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to like make this. I'm sure you've had that experience. I'm probably preaching to the choir, but that feeling of of getting somewhere, but then you quickly get checked on your limitations. You know what I mean? Like you get somewhere, you create a cool project, and then suddenly it's like, oh, I don't know how to do this or that. That's cool. Learning on your own is also a great way. I'm not really good at learning on my own. I need books. I usually do books or like online courses. Even for art, I do not credit myself as a self-taught artist. I have many artists that I've studied. Now maybe self-guided, right? I would consider myself a self-guided artist in the sense that, I've chosen my own curriculum, but I would not consider myself a self-taught artist. Yeah, Blender's really good. If you learn how to use that, super props to you because you know how many people are doing that? When you join the community of Blender artists, it seems like everybody knows Blender, but the reality, the truth is still a very small percentage of the world that is going to be able to stick with it long enough that it becomes something that they do on a regular basis. Well, in order to give you some ideas, I'd have to know your skill level, but uh here's how I actually come up with ideas. Is I did this great exercise. So let me give an example real quick. Grab grab an example. All right, a garbage can, a garbage bag, a Gundam, a transformer, uh, a house, your house specifically, an apartment complex. Um, do a project, a cityscape, learn a new learn a new function, and things like that. So, by the way, I don't usually like giving ideas, not because I don't mind sharing them, but because uh, I think there's so much. I think there's so much when people kind of investigate their own. But by the way, let me just share this exercise. I know, I might be ranting here, but so I used to do this exercise, and I still do it sometimes. But I learned it from one of my mentors. He's a really successful. He's more of a tech guy, investor tech guy, but he told me about this exercise where for the majority of his life, he's done 10 ideas per day. He's literally written 10 ideas per day, every single day, as far as he can remember. Now, I don't do it every single day, but it's super simple to keep an idea list going. And he suggests using a notepad, like a waiter's notepad. And I've got ideas for everything. This is 10 ideas for for intersection of niches, $10 billion ideas, 10 unique ideas when feeling stuck creatively, 10 ideas for engaging a mastermind group on social media, 10 ideas for newsletters, offers on a newsletter, 10 ideas for joint ventures on something I was working on, 10 ideas for email marketing campaigns, 10 chapter ideas for this book that I was working on. So yeah. By the way, Andy Warhol used to ask people for ideas, and he then, in that moment, he would decide whether they were good or not. So definitely helpful to have people to brainstorm with. But I don't know all my audiences. I don't know what you're like in person, because some people, and I'm not saying you, probably just need a tool that helps them to come up with their own ideas. And then some people are just like, I just want to do something random. Like for me, I did this project where I went on Reddit and I said, hey, everybody, give me words. And I'm going to put the next 20 words into a painting. So I collected words from people and made a painting out of the 20 word suggestions. So sometimes that's helpful. Like, you don't want to do your own idea, but you'll do some random idea from social media. I totally get it. Even though I do this ideas exercise, I still do stuff like that. That's one way to get ideas. 10 ways to get ideas. One way is to ask other people for ideas. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 8:46 a.m.
Kat, didn't you have to be there at 8? So let's keep going. So you have an idea list too. That's cool. Honestly, yeah, I mean, this is interesting how it's organized, but I have no tracking system to in 10 years from now, I'm not going to be able to be like, oh, where did my list of 10 ideas for how to bake a better souffle, where did I put that one? This is really just like a mental exercise to keep yourself going. I did at one point keep them on my phone on this app that I can just search stuff, which would probably be smarter to keep track of, but I stopped doing that. I like the notepad. I like the idea of just writing. Oh, you just I see. So there, you keep a mental note. That's cool. Yeah, do what you got to do. By the way, I heard from somebody that writing things down activates all these other these systems in your brain that help you to maximize your efforts of writing anything down. If that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm just let's see, what was I trying to do right here? I'm trying to figure out my drawing here. Let's see. Okay, so it's the front of the face that's going to be shaded now. It's certain areas. Okay, so this needs to be like that, and then we're going to go like so. Yeah, nice. I'm a very in my head type of person. That's why I did very poorly at math in school, is because I would always try to do math in my head and I don't want to show my work. And for the longest time that worked, right? Like that works up until like middle school. And then when they wanted me to start showing my work and the math got harder, I couldn't do it in my head. That's when I kind of realized that I'm just not good at math. So when we leave, we're just gonna go see Maggie.
Yeah, as far as I know. Yeah. She tells me that the repairmen are coming around that time.
Yeah. Right on. All right. So slowly building in the intricacies of this bowl here. So we did this in a process multi-step, and then now these are all like the etchings in the bowl. And we're gonna slowly go around, and as we start to draw in the rest of the shading, this is gonna be more filled out. We can start to have a more successful drawing. So let's go like this. And I have decided that this is not necessarily, even if I tried, it would take me years, months to draw this with a pen realistically. So, hey, this would be a cool project to model. Why not trying to model sketched glass? That's a really big challenge for 3D modeling since you asked for a project. Like sometimes I like to draw things that are going to challenge me, like the sketched glass, because I know that it's difficult. And I'm probably not, like the other day I literally drew a garbage bag. View from a person sitting in a chair looking outside the window at an apartment segment. So, is what you're saying is that you're gonna uh, sketch or model the inside of the person sitting in the apartment, or you're gonna model the outside, or you're gonna model both, like the entire scene of the person looking out of the apartment window. That sounds like a good challenge. That's not just a weekend project. That's like it's a lot of modeling. You got a lot of modeling work you got to do. Ah, okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, you tell a little story too, and then people become curious about your character. Where do they live? Is it New York? That's, yeah. By the way, here's another idea. Here's another idea. is taking, and I see this being a trend, so you can actually probably build a YouTube channel off this, but taking paintings that already exist, so it's public domain, paintings from, back in the day. You could take a Vincent van Gogh painting, you could take a Picasso, no, maybe not Picasso, I don't know if he's in public domain yet, but you could take a Monet painting, you could take, um, I don't know, Michelangelo, Da Vinci, Raphael, like Bosch, what any artist, and take an art piece of art that they made and make it 3D. I've seen YouTube videos of like people that have taken art, made them 3D, and you can like traverse them in VR. That could be a thing. And that would be a totally different skill set that could be very transferable. And you've already got an audience, because anybody who likes those artists is going to be like, wow, look at how cool this is, of this person who can turn. Yeah, yeah. So very interesting. I've seen some really cool work being done, and I saw a tutorial on it. I just never. I've actually watched a tutorial on that stuff, but have not personally ever attempted it myself. The one thing about pen drawing is you really have to live with your mistakes, which I'm comfortable with. Fortunately, I'm comfortable with that. This pen still has so much ink. All I have to do is shake it up a lot, and it'll suddenly have more ink in it.
Repeat your page for
Is there a thing in drawing that I could say that's a must for all beginners to start with? I would say a thing in drawing that is a must for all beginners to start with. I don't have an academic opinion for this. Academic as in, oh, well, you should start with, 3D models or whatever. I think that the beginner should just grab a pen and paper, go outside, and draw what they see.
right. Right now? Oh no. Yeah, I can, but I can't get there right now, obviously. Yeah. Probably, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Will they wait? I'll try my best. Thank you. Turn around. Are they at the door?
Uh, oh yeah. So oh yeah. I mean the donut. I think the donut is only famous though because there's actual tutorial. Like that one guy made a tutorial about doing a donut, and it just became a thing. Just like drawing, there's this draw box. It's called. So if you're looking for like something more organized, um, a good website to start is Draw a Box. But personally, I'm more of like a dive in type of person. Like, you know, just I just want to dive straight into things. So like my first drawings were just like whatever object I would see in the house. I went straight to like a self portrait. Drawing what was in the house, and then I picked up some books and started learning different techniques and stuff. So yeah, I don't take academic approaches to art most of the time. Most of the time.
Alexa, what's the temperature outside?
Good morning, Kathleen. Right now, it's 56 degrees Fahrenheit. Today, expect a high of 61 degrees.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Go with what you like. That's how you build passion.
All right, I'm going.
All right, I'll see you in a bit. Hey,
Yeah.
but also here's the other thing about my approach is I think when you can be honest about your individual approaches of not being academic, it does become harder because then you have to come up with your own curriculum
Okay. Bye.
and you really have to have a level of I don't want to say like belief in yourself. I feel like that sounds kind of cheesy because that doesn't mean that people in art school don't have a belief in themselves or who take academic approaches. Like, I did a lot of online studies and tutorials for digital art because there's so much technology involved. There's just so much technology, and sometimes learning the technology quickly through experts can be very helpful because they tell you like exactly what tools to use and what buttons to press and all those things. But when it comes to art itself, just straight to the nitty gritty, like straight to the guts artwork, like how do I draw, right? There's a lesson element of it, a style element of it. Like everyone wants, I think everybody, literally everybody who becomes an artist, deep down they have like certain artists that they like or that will appeal to them. And I think one of the best ways to study those artists is to study those artists and not necessarily just going by some book or exact like methods. My example would be Vincent van Gogh. He had tons. I mean, he went to school for a little bit, but he pretty much dove straight in and just copied the artists that he loved, right? So you'll be taking your leave now. Hey, well, thanks so much. Take care, Northern. I hope you hope I'm able to share some good ideas with you, and look forward to seeing some of the work that you do. Definitely be sure to share and say what's up or whatever. Take care. All right, so it's time for the outer sketch of this drawing here. So far we've got the inner bowl, some of the designs on the inner bowl, which is the inner sketchings, and we're gonna go around to the outside now to finally fill this in. I think once the whole bowl's done, we're gonna get like a more unified drawing. It's gonna make a lot more sense. But for now, it's still pretty chicken scratchy. So first step is to really just get the little design here. And step by step, piece by piece, you will get you'll get what you're looking for most of the time. Part of me wants to say, why would anybody draw glass? Glass is not meant to be drawn. But I guess for now, it's really the challenge of trying to see, trying to know how to see and sketch glass, and sketched out the design here. So let's go. This one is going to go actually curve all the way down from here. And this is going to go all the way around. Let's see, look at this wild and crazy design. Oh my goodness, I got this crazy design out here that I got to figure out how I'm going to do. So sketched glass. Let's go and triangle. I just draw things bigger and skip a couple things. And let's go like this. It's 3. That's 4. 4. And I'm counting out the triangles that I see. So one, 2, 3, 4. All right, come on, let's do this. Oh, that looks so bad. All right, well, anyways, we can fix that, and then we're gonna go some circle in the middle. And some more triangles in between. And drawing some more intricate designs right now. See what you're using. Oh, what I'm using. So just a pen still that same exact pen as we go here. How you doing, T Dot? You doing all right? I'm actually going to be done here in maybe the next hour or so, 30 minutes. But yeah, I'm still using the same exact rOtring 600 pen. There's still all this ink in it, so eventually this will be complete. But I'm actually enjoying the fact. See, it was only the other day that this was really annoying to do because I got really frustrated because I had spent I had to give myself a time limit. I was like, I will finish today. So it became frustrating when I didn't get to where I thought I would be based on some of the information I had on this this pen. You know, I really thought for sure I was going to be done, and it ended up being more, so I was frustrated. But today it's not so bad. You know, I don't have the same expectation, and it doesn't feel as stressful this way, fortunately. So how are you doing? What's going on with you? Have you have had any interesting thoughts? Any creative ideas that you want to pursue? Any uh any creative things you did? You're still waiting on those pens to, you said that you're waiting on some supplies to come, right? Something to clean your polish your pens and pencils or something. I think that's what you mentioned, right? Let me see where the dimensions need to go. The dimensions need to go around the outer edge here. So we're gonna give some outer edge dimension. Light's coming from down there, so definitely right around here, right around here. Yeah, you got mostly everything almost all here now. Fantastic. All right. So this means that you're going to be able to do all the things you've been hoping for, right? Or something else. I don't know. Okay, cool. Good to hear. Good to hear, my friend. All right, let's see. I gotta go sketch this in. Sketch in this glass here. Add some shade, shadow. It's always great when you finally get your tools and you get to do something fun that you've been waiting for. All right, very nice. And is that like something you're working on today? Is today the day? Today is the day. It must be the day. The day to get started. So right now what I'm working on is designing the glass drawing the glass for the bowl here. And when I say drawing, I mean just filling in the space to create this illusion of glass. Probably can't even tell it's glass really, unless there's like something from behind the object that's shining through. And I'm not going to show that, so there's things that I must do to create this etched look. All right, gonna try to do some polishing today. First, gotta watch a bunch of YouTube videos first. Nice. All right. So, do you consider polishing like a creative outlet, or is it more of like a relaxing way to take care of your pens? It kind of make me think of like I've never personally collected anything. I guess when I was a kid, I collected like cards and stuff, like Pokemon cards. But as an adult, I can't say I've really collected things in a sense of like, I think collectors care about the thing that separates a collector from somebody like me who, just buys a lot of pens is, the collector cares about the things that, really cares about the things they buy. So like a car collector will love their car, take care of their car, spend lots of time like learning about their cars and things like that. Whereas myself, I'll do like maintenance, but um, I don't necessarily go above and beyond to take care of my materials to help them last longer. But I definitely can appreciate the fact that, collectors can probably get the same emotion, get the same feelings from taking care of the things that they're collecting that I might get from doing a drawing or a painting. So you too. Then your mom throws away your collections? What? Really? She throws away your collections? Is it because she doesn't know, or she gets angry at you? uh that's what? It's hard to believe because it's like, hard earned belongings. Oh, Pokemon. So she threw away your Pokemon cards. I thought you meant she threw away your pens. Well, yeah. Well, hey, Pokemon. I mean, I don't know what to say in this situation. Like, you gotta listen. You gotta listen to your mom. It's hard to deal with whatever situation happened there. But I sold. So I bought a Pokemon. I had my Pokemon card collection sent to me from my parents when I was during COVID, and I ended up selling one card for about $1,200. It's a pretty good deal. Good deal there. My favorite car. Favorite car. I like Ferraris. Ferraris are very exciting cars to me. I really like Ferraris. But I don't have a specific Ferrari that's a favorite. Maserati used to be my favorite car, but that's changed. And a Ferrari is now my favorite car, my favorite vehicle to look at. Like, I think a Ferrari is different enough of a look. Like, its design is unique enough to be very, um, very different. I'm drawing, so I can't nail down exactly what I'm trying to say. I think I felt at one time Maserati, just like, I realized that a Maserati kind of just looks like a lot of luxury vehicles, like a what do you call it? It sort of looked like a lot of pretty standard vehicles. It didn't really look unique to me, the Maserati. So eventually I was like, oh, Ferrari's really nice. I love Ferraris. Porsche 911. Yeah, that's a good. There's a lot of Porsche 911s out in Los Angeles. You ever been to Los Angeles? I don't know. You said you live. I think you're in Canada or something. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of nice Porsches in Canada, but there's so many Porsches in Los Angeles. I want to say that's like second most popular car, like luxury car, to Mercedes. Mercedes is probably number one, but a Porsche is probably up there. One thing I've learned about all this drawing that I've been doing is the idea that you can use just the way you use your lines can totally define um can totally change. Like, unlike pencil, your pencils are totally focused on like values and like, creating the right shade, whereas I think pen, it's about totally much more about lines and how many lines you use in a specific area. I'm learning a lot more about that as I do these projects. So, do I play Switch with my girlfriend? No, we don't play Switch. So, we actually have a PS5, but she's not much of a gamer. Honestly, she's not a gamer at all. Um, we try to play a few games together, but she just couldn't get into it. That's whatever. We don't have a Switch. We have a PlayStation 5. But she loves the PlayStation 5 because we get to watch all these different movies and stuff. So there is a benefit to having one. If you ever need to convince uh, your significant other that you want to get one, um, that's a good reason, is so that you can watch all the best shows. Yeah, you got to switch. That's what you do with your lady, is you play Switch. Almost done here. Almost done. Actually, this area I need to draw out my flowers here. And draw another crazy design. So much ink. So much ink is being spilled. So your girls play on the PS5. You mean your daughters? Do you have sisters? Daughters, wow. All right. So you play a Switch and then your daughters play your PS5? Sounds like that usually most families are probably the opposite. The kids are playing on the Switch and the parents are playing on the actual PlayStation. I feel like I'm almost out of pen, but I don't want to get almost out of ink, but I don't want to get my hopes up too much here. Oh, no. Still got some more to go. Yeah. All right. Well, that's cool. They're very fortunate daughters. Your daughters are very lucky to have you as a parent. From that gaming sense, because I definitely think most parents would be playing PS5 themselves, and it is such a whole different gaming experience. But I guess as an adult, we don't really need. Um, I guess you're a parent. I'm not a parent, but you probably find more enjoyment from them having lots of enjoyment rather than yourself. I don't know. I could be wrong. Oh, I'm almost done with this. I just gotta finish. Just give me a little bit more ink. This is when I want a little bit more ink on here because I'm almost done and I just need to get over this one area here. This one area. I've made so many chicken scratch marks at a certain part of this that I have no clue what I was trying to do. But let's see, let's go down like so. I'm gonna go down this way like so. All right, so, all right, this is almost done. I've got a little bit more left. This is my 3 apples in a jar. I guess if you get a little closer, you can see some of the crazy marks. But this is a glass bowl drawn with pen. And let me see if I can use up the rest of the ink here. I probably used too many dark line or too many lines here. Too much shading, because you don't really get a sense of value. You don't get a sense of all the different shades and colors. But I guess that's what comes. That's one of the things that come with drawing with a pen. Yeah, still a lot of ink here. Just when you think it's almost out, you got a bit more to go. But wouldn't it be great if this was the final drawing, this challenging glass bowl here with 3 apples in it? That would be nice. No. All right, so the bowl looks like a small story. Thank you. Amir, welcome. How are you? Let me add some more things behind the bowl. I might as well just finish this up and draw the entire still life, right? So I got a laptop that's actually attached to the bowl right now, or not attached, but it's on the side of the bowl. And this is gonna come down the side here, just kind of stick around the side, the edge right there. Let's bring this down. Add this piece here at our laptop. I got a keyboard. So Mira, unfortunately, I still have not finished the full use of this pen yet, but I think we're almost there. We're getting very close to the finish line. And that's all I can really tell you. We're almost at the finish line with this project here. Right now I'm drawing in like a laptop that I have that's sitting next to it and a couple of other objects. So, all right, let's bring this further around a little bit and we're gonna go. How many hours has it been? I think it's been over 35 hours with this pen. So yeah, just let's just see. It's just if I shake it hard enough, it'll keep coming out, and it'll come out a lot. But I am kind of glad though, because when you do a challenge like this, you kind of like push yourself to do different things than you normally would if you were focused on only the artwork itself. I think it's getting there because this pen is still literally for days. I mean, we're almost at, I mean, this might as well go for 48 hours total, like all together. Um, Yeah, this refill could definitely go for long times. And it also depends on the speed that you draw too, because like I feel like I'm using a lot of ink, but like if somebody was much less ink, much less heavy on ink, they could definitely last. This video could go on for like weeks. I don't know. This video could probably go on for like 60 hours, 70 hours, but I'm doing these drawings pretty heavy. It was, however, it was at one point that I realized, like, okay, this pen has a lot of ink. I'm not going to be able to do this. This project is going to take forever if I keep drawing very timidly. So at one point, I had to change it up, and I didn't end up doing my bird. I will do my bird eventually, but just for the time being, just was not. I guess it just wasn't the right time. So let me draw a hat. I'm gonna draw a hat that comes up out here. Let me fill my space. Here we go. Whew, so glad I got done with the last bullet. No, LOL, not the chirps when you say bird, not the chirps. Yes. So let's go like this. And we're gonna draw a little rim. Oh no, this does not go like that. What am I doing? I don't even know how I came to this drawing. It should be about as big as the bowl, so that needs to go much further up. Oh my goodness, people. Are we all how many times like I've reached a point where I have to shake it almost after every few lines. So I'm feeling optimistic, but the thing is that a lot of ink comes out after these big shakes. So I don't know. Let's see what happens. Yeah, like no, I'm getting too optimistic. I don't want to get hopeful again because if I do, I'm gonna get frustrated that it's not finishing. So let's go ahead and just sketch some of these other things that are around here. I got got my little pen case over here, and I've got a little box that comes down. Case for a pen right around here. It's my pen case. Not the droid you're looking for, not the chirps you're looking for. I feel like, oh, come on. This is the hard part because I got to keep shaking. This is a lot of work. It burns a lot of calories that I have to do all this shaking. You think it's over? Almost, almost. I reached. This was the same point I was at the other day when I would have to shake after each one, and for whatever reason, the ink appeared overnight. Again, I mentioned I feel like it would be a cruel prank if my girlfriend had simply just replaced the ink cartridges because that would totally ruin this whole thing. But I don't think she did. I hope she didn't. That'd be so mean. But let's see. What else can I draw? I got my computer screen right here. Oh yeah, I got to draw this all the way up. Let's go up with this, up, and away we go. And then we got a laptop here, so let's just fill in the color around here. We're gonna draw in on the laptop. You said it's unfillable. No, it's unfillable, but I have other refills. So like I have more of these. I have more of these. So the pen itself is just you just replace the cartridge. You can't refill this, but you can replace the cartridge, which is what I was referring to. I doubt she did that. See, it's funny because like when it starts to take forever, you get frustrated and you get kind of like paranoid. You start wanting to blame it on others where there's really no reason to. I shouldn't be doing that at all. Um, it's just funny how like you start to get paranoid. Like, oh, what if someone did this or what if someone did that? What if magically new ink was reappearing? Because like it does feel like a magical pen. Like I've never had a pen last this long. Usually I feel like every pen that I buy, whenever I buy like the disposable ones, I feel like I have it, I use it, it just sits in a bag and I use it maybe like once every couple months and then one day it just disappear, like there's no more ink. But this pen I'm somehow using quite a lot of, and it is magically not going away. I don't even know what to do anymore. There's like not much more to. I mean, I could just keep going, but what more can I do? Let's see. I could turn this abstract somehow. What can I do to make this, to create this and make it more creative? Um, what are some ideas? How can I make this more creative? I need to write words. Let's see. Let's write words. Cat trees. No room. No room for. No room for the sun. I'm gonna try to come up with like random phrases that people find. Oh, they must be a deep thinker. Evolution is not the solution. Is not a solution. Let's see what else. What else could sound like generic, but is powerful. What did I would say? Strategy versus diploma. This pen lasts forever. 40-hour pen. 40-hour plus pen. gonna write YouTube 5 times. YouTube. So here we go, just continuing on and building into this drawing here. Oh, you know what? I have these white markers. I can do some stuff with these white markers. But then I'd have to stop using the pen. That's the annoying thing. I want to be able to doesn't really do much. Let's see. Yeah, it adds a little bit of character, a little bit of flavor. Just got to be more strategic about where I put them. All right, well, I want to finish using the pen, so I shouldn't be using this. All right, let's see. It's 9:45 a.m. 9:45 a.m. California is anti-winter. California is for lovers. Actually, that sounds better. California is for lovers. Someone's gonna see that one day and be like, "Oh, that's clever." What are some other clever ideas that I could throw on here? Try to be poetic. Trying to think of a phrase. What's like a common phrase, and then you gotta like flip it on its head. So a phrase would be, "Loose lips sink ships." Loose lips sink ships. Stiff lips crack under pressure. Stiff lips crack under pressure. Totally making stuff up. Needy. I'm gonna do money signs. Money equals $4. All right, so here's what we got. Got some words. Throw in a couple letters in here to hide. Mir Khan, you've been in almost all of my live streams. So since you're here right now, I'll throw another EK into this one. TYEK. Thank you, EK, for being a viewer. So let's. Oh my goodness. I wanted to do drawings that I didn't have to think about, because then I could just keep drawing. So I'm just gonna write any word that comes to mind. Word, mind, less, skill. Of course, the word sex always comes to mind. Got to get that out of the way real quick. Got to get that out of the way. Got to get monster. Movie. YouTube has cats. This pen never ends. Potato salads. Potato salads. What else? Oh yeah. Ha ha. Potato salads. Ha ha. A fine specimen. specimen of a cat. So many cats. Indiana Jones likes snakes. Apples and oranges. Make juice. Pens. I should stop shaking this. I should stop. If I stopped shaking it, I would have been done like 4 days ago. Should stop shaking this pen. Give me happiness. Give me happiness. Happiness or give me money. This little doodle, I'm just going to doodle all around now. Eyes, face, nose. A butterfly is your friend. Butterfly is your friend. Pens, variety, rOtring. Hidden words have meaning. Hidden words have meaning. The mystery of the world of the man who invented peanut butter. Let's see where we go with this. Keep these going. Continue drawing random objects. Tic-tac-toe, I win. Winner in my book. Let's brainstorm. Let's draw a bunch of faces in a variety of ways. Emote, XP, XO, XB. Oh, okay, so I'm gonna run out of energy before this pen does. At least this time. Might need another day. But here's what we got so far. I could see this being a fairly like this looks like a middle school kid's notebook. Except it actually has like a glass drawing of the glass jar in the center. Yeah, actually, I gotta get going in a minute. So, I think we're gonna have to wrap this up for now, so that we can leave. Hey. Ready to go?
I'm gonna contact Maggie again. She's having an issue with keeping the moving van.
Oh, okay. Well, let me know. I guess it's not time to go yet. So, We're gonna keep
Soon.
writing words across this.
We'll try to
YouTube.
I smell like gas. When I took the nozzle out, some of the gas spilled out. I think on my shoe.
Oh, you filled the car.
Yes.
Happy thumbs. Happy thumbs make happy bums. Happy thumbs make happy bums. All right. Gotta write letters all around. How much space is needed for a happy place when angels cry when angels cry what happens when angels cry? I don't know what happens when angels cry. I don't know what happens. All right, let's keep going. I don't know what happens.
They didn't answer you?
No, nobody. Well, what I'm doing is I'm just writing whatever random words come to mind, random ideas. Characters. The universe is a big place to explore. Let's time travel and make new friends. Success happens overnight. Overnight. When you dream it. Success happens overnight when you dream it. That could be like a powerful quote, right? Someone would take that and be like, wow. Because technically you do dream overnight. Let's come up with some more quotes. Cats sleep in the day so they can play at night. Enough about cats. Cats, dogs. Oh, this ink. Come on, ink. I never want this ink to end. This ink refill to end. It is infinite. The infinite pen. Infinite pen lasts 40 hours. Why is my wrist so strong? My wrist so strong, it's like magic. Magic, and creates more ink. This pen can last for as long as I can shake.
Hello?
Oh!
Is this 710?
No.
No, 710?
Yeah, it's downstairs is on this side, on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to go around the building. There.
All right.
Do his taxes for him.
This pen lasts as long as I can shake my arm. Color me purple. What does color me purple mean? I just need to sketch it. Maybe I should color in some of these stuff. Because if I think too much about the words, I have to keep stopping and try and decide what to write or say. Whereas if I just draw some of these areas much darker, I can have a powerful effect on the drawing itself and not worry as much about the writing. So let's do some of this shadow area. And these are bruises. So the bruises is going to have like little dots around. The bruising is going to have a little bit of a different design. Yes, that looks more like a bruise. And draw some of that. Need some bolder lines around the top here. Some boldness. Some more separation between the light areas and the dark areas here. Do that. And here we go. The harder I shake, the more ink comes out. Well, one good thing about the ink here is that it doesn't flail all over the place when you shake it. So that's one good thing that I'm learning. It's a good note to add when I finally do make the video review of this pen. This is one of those times when I really realize like how easy it is for your mind to like, or for your emotions to overtake your thinking, your mind. Like even though I know I'm reaching a point of frustration because the other day this exact same thing happened. I had this expectation that the pen was going to be finished, even though I know that I'm reaching that point where it like feels frustrating, and I should just not be frustrated because I shouldn't be trying to expect when this pen's going to run out of ink. I'm still doing it. I'm still thinking to myself, oh, when is this pen going to run out? When is this pen going to run out? But just the other day, I kept having that expectation. That's when it got like not fun anymore, When you're no longer having fun, that's when you know you should stop. But maybe this just means that I should spend more time on this. So that's okay. Let's do that. Let's spend some more time and create the shape of this apple a bit more.
We're going to be eating those,
Yeah, and?
I have a plan to eat one today.
Okay, so eat it. So eat it. I think this little extra effort that I'm adding does add character to these apples. So this is a positive. If it wasn't for waiting for this pen to run out of ink, I would have probably finished a little while ago. I don't know if it's making it better by adding all this extra detail or dark or words, or if it just makes it look more confusing. I think it makes it look more interesting, actually. But it is not up to me. I mean, yes, it is up to me, but it's also like, up to the viewer, how the viewer feels about these things, right? At the end of the day, as an artist, you want to know what other people think about your work. And here's some space that I can fill in 7, 8, 9, 10. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So we're going to keep going. We're going to push some of these apple parts a little bit darker here. Some parts a little darker, have the shadow. Maybe have a shadow extend across a little bit more. I wonder if you can tell the difference between, if I was to draw this exact same way of an orange, whether you'd be able to tell the difference between this apple and the orange. And in some way, I do hope that you can tell, but because if you can't tell, then maybe I haven't done a good job of making this defined as an apple. Oh yeah, I should probably draw into this little design thing right here. It's a sticker with barcodes on it. Let's do that. And 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. right, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just adding some more shape to our apples here. Our one apple has a lot more shape, and
Okay, we're on. Get the band extended.
so we gotta leave right now.
Yeah, in a few minutes. I just need to clean up before Yep.
Okay, that's fine. Cool, very cool.
Oh,
Huh?
nice. I'm going to the store.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh, hi. Found anything to eat in all this seed that you don't really like?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come on. How many more reps? 100 more reps of these? We're gonna have the strongest wrists in all of California doing this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
You still get carpal tunnel.
What do you mean?
Your wrist will be strong.
Really?
You think so?
You can prevent a disease by shaking your wrist really hard?
Of course.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Gotta clean out your cage for you, Miss Bird, your son. You'll be all ruffled.
Alright, let's go like this. Fill in these lines in these spaces here. And okay, here we go. Darkening some of these areas to create separation between our area. Let's see if there's any other shapes that I missed. 'Cause I have so much extra time here. There's so much extra ink. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Better? Clean? Yes. Yes. It's clean. Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. My cat's looking at me like, what are you doing, sir? Yeah, my arm might hurt. It already does hurt. My cats are looking at me like, what are you doing, sir? Why are you shaking your wrist so frantically? Is it time to run? Do we need to escape from something?
Uh-huh.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, I'm ready.
You ready? Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right. Well, Amir, I really appreciate you being here, but it's time to go. So I'll do one more visual of what we've got so far. All I'm doing is just adding more and more lines to this. But let's see what we've got. Let's do a quick run through of what we've had the past few days. Here's a hand project. Here's a hand project. Crazy face. Let's see what else. let's get to some decent drawings. This was when I started to get frustrated with this. These are some nearing the end of my pen when I was becoming excited.
I'm gonna put these under here.
Okay.
Somebody doesn't need it.
But anyway, I feel like no more than another 2 hours, even though it should be much less than 2 hours. It would be nice. But we're gonna wrap up now. Amir, thank you for joining in, and everybody else. I see 3 other people kind of chilling, hanging out. I don't know who you are, but appreciate you being here. This pen has been going for almost 40 hours now, or not this pen, but specifically this refill in here. This pen is a rOtring 600, but all it is a vessel to contain this SCHMIDT Easyflow 9000, and I think it's starting to get empty, but I don't know. I don't want to get my hopes up again because it doesn't seem to. It doesn't care about my hopes and dreams and emotions. This pen, it only cares that it is pushing me to my drawing limits. So we'll be back in a while, and we'll chat then. So thanks for being out here, everybody.
Oh, that looks nice. It's really detailed. Okay. This is my.
We'll be back soon. Talk later.